Tragic events transpired beneath the calm skies that had previously been filled with his songs. Come explore the eerie last hours of the renowned singer-songwriter John Denver. The story of his life culminates in the terrifying last minutes of John Denver, which takes the viewer on a terrifying journey from breathtaking highs to heartbreaking lows. Learn the secrets surrounding his tragic death, a narrative recorded in the annals of music history. American singer-songwriter Henry John Deutschendorf Jr., December 31, 1943, October 12, 1997, was better known by his stage name, John Denver. He was among the best-selling musicians of the 1970s and one of the most well-liked acoustic performers. Denver is regarded as among the most beloved entertainers of his era by AllMusic. Denver composed over 200 of the 300 songs that he recorded and released. With estimated sales of over 33 million units, he has 33 albums and singles that have received gold and platinum certification in the United States from the RIAA. He sang of his love of the outdoors, hate of the city, passion for music, and relationship difficulties in his recordings and live performances, which he mostly gave with an acoustic guitar. Denver's signature songs, Take Me Home, Country Roads, Poems, Prayers and Promises, Annie's Song, Rocky Mountain High, Calypso, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and Sunshine on My Shoulders appear on several charts, including adult contemporary, country music, and the Billboard Hot 100. Denver's albums earned 12 gold and 4 platinum certifications. Denver made numerous appearances in movies and TV shows in the 1970s and 1980s, including the 1977 hit Oh God, in which he co-starred with George Burns. In addition to concentrating on environmental causes, he kept recording well into the 1990s. He also testified before Congress against music restriction and actively supported space research. Denver was a well-known Colorado enthusiast who spent a large portion of his time in Aspen. Denver received the title of State Poet Laureate in 1974. In addition, Rocky Mountain High was designated as one of the 2 official state anthems by the Colorado State Senate in 2007, while Take Me Home, Country Roads was designated as such by West Virginia in 2014. Denver, a passionate pilot, was 53 years old when he was killed in a single fatality crash in 1997 while operating a recently acquired light aircraft. Irma Louise and Captain Henry John Dutch Deutschendorf Sr., 1920 to 1982, a pilot for the United States Army Air Forces stationed at Roswell Army Airfield, welcomed Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. into the world on December 31, 1943 in Roswell, New Mexico. A distinguished pilot, Captain Deutschendorf Sr. broke several airspeed records aboard a Convair B-58 Hustler in 1961. Denver wrote of his father as a strict man who was unable to express his affection for his kids in his autobiography Take Me Home, published in 1994. Denver's family moved around a lot due to his father's military career. Thus, he had trouble making friends and fitting in with kids his age. Denver was an introspective person who frequently felt out of place and unsure of his true role in the world. The Deutschendorfs bought a house when based at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, and resided there from 1951 to 1959. Denver spent his early childhood and adolescence in Tucson, Arizona. Denver spent these years attending Mansfield Junior High School and spending 2 years as a member of the Tucson, Arizona Boys Chorus. Despite his father's departure to Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama, he was happy in Tucson. Denver completed his high school education at Arlington Heights High School while residing at the Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas, after the family relocated. Denver, who was dissatisfied with Fort Worth, decided to start his music career and visit his family in California using his father's car during his senior year of high school. Denver was grudgingly brought back to finish his education after his father took a friend's jet to California to get him. Denver's grandmother gave him an acoustic guitar when he was 11 years old. When he was in college, he had mastered the instrument to the point where he could play at local clubs. The song peaked at No. 2 on the Billboard charts. Denver's 1970 signing was facilitated in part by the efforts of Jerry Weintraub, the future Hollywood producer who took on the role of manager for him. Weintraub organized a radio exposure campaign in Denver, Colorado, and pushed for a reissue of the song. After that, Denver's career took off, and over the following 4 years, he had a string of hits. Denver's first top 10 album, Rocky Mountain High, debuted in 1972 and scored a top 10 hit in 1973 with the album's title tune. Denver had 3 No. 1 albums: John Denver's Greatest Hits, Back Home Again, and Win Song, and 4 No. 1 songs: Sunshine on My Shoulders, Annie's Song, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and I'm Sorry, in 1974 and 1975. Denver wore wire-rimmed granny glasses and long blonde hair when performing live in the 1970s. The American West was often featured in his embroidered shirts, which were designed by applique artist and designer Anna Zapp. Despite Denver's objections at the time, Weintraub persisted in making a large number of television appearances, including a run of half-hour shows in the United Kingdom. He said, "I've had no success in Britain, I mean none." Weintraub said to Newsweek's Maureen Orth in December 1976, "I knew the critics would never go for John. To get into the people, I had to do." Denver headlined his own variety and music programs, including multiple performances at Red Rocks Amphitheater, after making numerous guest appearances on shows. More than 60 million people saw his holiday special Rocky Mountain Christmas, which at the time was the highest-rated program on the ABC network. Denver starred in his own weekly music and variety show, The John Denver Show, on BBC television in 1973. Stanley Dorfman produced and directed the show. An Evening with John Denver, Denver's live concert special, was the recipient of the 1974 to 1975 Emmy Award for Outstanding Special in Comedy, Variety, or Music. Denver's emphasis on other projects caused Weintraub to terminate their business connection in 1982. Denver was accused of Nazism, and Weintraub kicked Denver out of his office. Denver later revealed this to Arthur Tobier, who was transcribing his memoirs at the time. After performing several touch-and-go landings at the neighboring Monterey Peninsula Airport, Denver's light home-built aircraft, a Rutan Long EZ registered as N555JT, crashed into Monterey Bay, close to Pacific Grove, California, on October 12, 1997 in the afternoon. Denver perished in the incident. The only person inside the plane was him. Multiple blunt force injuries from the collision were declared to be the official cause of death. Denver possessed more than 2,700 flight hours. He held instrument, glider, multi-engine land, single-engine land, and sea pilot ratings. Denver's Learjet also had a type rating. Just the day before his disaster, he had taken a half-hour checkout flight in the Long EZ, which was built by someone else from a kit. He had recently purchased the aircraft. When the crash occurred, Denver did not have the proper authorization to fly. He had been arrested multiple times for drunk driving in the past. The FAA terminated Denver's medical certification in 1996, almost a year before the disaster, after discovering that Denver had not abstained from alcohol completely, thereby failing to maintain sobriety. The aircraft began to yaw, nose right, and pitch up as a result of the natural urge to support oneself when turning in the seat by extending one's right foot against the right rudder pedal. According to the mechanic, he informed Denver that only the back cockpit occupant could see the fuel sight gauges. Denver wanted to know how much fuel was displayed. He reported to Denver that less than a quarter was in the left tank and less than half was in the right tank. Denver could then see the gasoline gauges over his shoulder thanks to the inspection mirror he gave him. A later find from the wreckage was the mirror. Denver stated that he would retain the aircraft level while he adjusted the fuel selector valve while in flight by using the autopilot. Saying that he would only be flying for around an hour, he declined the offer to refuel the plane. About Denver's last trip, the NTSB spoke with 20 witnesses. The jet crashed into the bay close to Point Pinos, as witnessed by 6 of them. 4 reported that the plane had taken off westward. 4 reported that the bank was to the right, north, while 5 reported seeing the plane on a high bank. 12 reported seeing the plane descend sharply, nose down. When the plane was approaching the shoreline, witnesses estimated its altitude to be between 350 and 500 feet, 110 and 150 meters. 8 people reported hearing a pop or backfire and a decrease in engine noise right before the aircraft plunged into the water. Denver's failure to refuel and subsequent loss of control while attempting to exchange fuel tanks were not the only important circumstances that contributed to the disaster, as stated by the NTSB. First and foremost among these were the builder's choice to locate the fuel selector lever in an awkward location and his insufficient transition experience on this kind of aircraft. The board made recommendations regarding the need for and implementation of required training requirements for pilots flying privately owned aircraft. It also underlined how crucial it is that all aircraft controls, including fuel selectors and fuel gauges, be made necessary for simplicity of access. Colorado Governor Roy Romer ordered all state flags to be lowered to half-staff in honor of Denver at the news of his passing. Pastor Lefelker, a retired Air Force chaplain, conducted funeral services at Faith Presbyterian Church in Aurora, Colorado, on October 17, 1997. Denver's body was cremated, and his ashes were dispersed in the Rocky Mountains. At the subsequent Grammy and Country Music Association Awards, more tributes were given. The World Folk Music Association created a new award in Denver's honor and gave him the posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award in 1998. The television movie Take Me Home, The John Denver Story, which starred Chad Lowe as Denver and was partially based on his writings, aired on CBS in 2000. Back Home Again, a John Denver holiday, an anthology musical with Denver's music, made its stage debut at the Rubicon Theater Company in 2006. A resolution to designate Denver's iconic 1972 hit song, Rocky Mountain High, as one of the two official state songs of the state, along with its predecessor, Where the Columbines Grow, was approved by the Colorado Senate on March 12, 2007. Defying Representative Debbie Stafford's argument that the song portrayed drug use, most notably in the lyric "Friends around the campfire and everybody's high," the resolution cleared the House 50 to 11 votes. The proposal's sponsor, Senator Bob Hagedorn, defended the song, saying it had nothing to do with drugs and everything to do with enjoying the rush of witnessing Colorado's breathtaking mountain views with friends. John Denver, to me, is an icon of what Colorado it is, stated Senator Nancy Todd. A bronze plaque honoring John Denver was unveiled on September 24, 2007, by the WinStar Foundation and the California Friends of John Denver, close to the site of his plane crash. Denver's name was carved on a driftwood log by Jeffrey Pine to record the location, but worries that it would be washed out to sea led to the push for a more permanent memorial. At first, the Pacific Grove Council rejected the memorial's request for approval, believing that extreme fans would visit the location with morbid curiosity. Denver's family requested that the project be put on hold, and in 1999 permission was ultimately granted. The plaque, which has a bas relief of the singer's face and lyrics from his song, Wind Song, "So welcome the wind and the wisdom she offers," was eventually dedicated in front of over 100 friends and family members. When she summons you again, heed her call. Denver's family released a collection of previously unheard recordings of his 1985 concert appearances in the Soviet Union to commemorate the 10th anniversary of his passing. Produced by Roger Nichols, the 2-CD collection John Denver, Live in the USR was distributed by 8AO Music. These digital recordings were taken at 11 different concerts, and in 2002 they were found again. A previously unreleased Russian version of Annie's song is included in this collection. November 6, 2007 was the release date of the collection. Even as we consider John Denver's extraordinary life and untimely death, his influence endures in the classic songs that he inspired. Subscribe now to remain up to date on more compelling tales and exclusive content, and come along on a journey through the lives of famous people. As we continue to uncover the secret tales behind the songs, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a beat. Get more by subscribing, and allow the sounds of the past to enchant your senses.